motion for reconsideration of Villanueva 3 years after Morales' order. And Crispin Remulla, who is now ombudsman, was surprised that Martires granted the MR. One, is that valid, or is there anything questionable in this whole process and timeline?
Well, because the decision of former Ombudsman Chit Morales was for the dismissal of Joel. Remember, at that time he was just he was no longer in Congress. He was I think with TESDA, an executive office. So there was no prohibition on the ombudsman in deciding that case. Let us assume that Villanueva submitted on time his motion for recon within 10 days. If that decision is reversed subsequently, the prosecutor will have another chance to ask for a motion for reconsideration.
Magandang araw ho mga kababayan. Isang bagong usapin na naman ang gumulantang sa mundo ng politika at hustisya, ang flood control scandal na patuloy nang iniimbestigahan at ang kamakailang reversal na kaso ni Senator Joel Villanueva. Ngayon, nagsilita na si dating Supreme Court Justice Antonio Carpio at marami ang napaisip sa bigat ng kanyang mga pahayag. Ano nga ba ang sinabi ni Carpio? At ano ang ibig sabihin nito para sa mga kasong kinaharap ng ilang opisyal ng gobyerno? Ang flood control scandal ay tumutukoy sa mga umano'y anomalya sa pagpapatupad ng ilang flood control projects sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa. Ayon sa mga ulat, may mga proyekto raw na hindi natapos o kaya papel lang sa dokumento, ngunit fully paid na ang pondo. Ang problema, saan napunta ang pera? Kasabay nito, lumulutang din ang ilang pangalan ng mga mambabatas na umano'y nagkaroon ng involvement sa paglalaan ng pondo para sa mga proyektong ito. Isa sa madalas na babanggit sa mga ulat ay si Senator Joel Villanueva. Sa isa hong panayam, sinabi ni dating Supreme Court Justice Antonio Carpio na kung totoo ang mga lumalabas na impormasyon tungkol sa flood control projects, ito raw ay maaaring mas malala pa sa mga korupsyong naganap noong martial law. Ayon kay Carpio, ang ganitong uri ng anomalya ay sumisira sa tiwala ng publiko at nagdudulot ng malaking pinsala sa ekonomiya at infrastruktura. Giit pa ni Carpio, mahalagang buksan ito sa publiko ang lahat ng investigasyon upang makita ng taong bayan kung sino talaga ang may pananagutan. Ito ho mga kababayan, sabay-sabay ho natin panoorin at reaksyonan ang interview ni Karen Davila kay dating Supreme Court Justice Antonio Carpio.
On the flood control corruption scandal gripping the Philippines and the call for accountability. We're now joined by former Supreme Court Associate Justice Antonio Carpio. Good morning to you, Justice Carpio.
Good morning, Karen. Good morning to our viewers.
All right. Now, special courts will be formed for the cases expected to be filed in connection with the anomalous flood control projects as well as under infrastructure projects. This was announced by the Supreme Court. First, what do you make of that announcement, and how do you think will this be best implemented?
Well, I see a problem with that, Karen, because that announcement referred to designating RTCs as special courts, regional trial courts, but the jurisdiction of regional trial courts when it comes to violation of the anti-graft law or the forfeiture law or the revised penal code on crimes committed by public officers applies only to officials with a salary grade of 26 and below. And the persons who are being sued right now, are being investigated right now, are senators, congressmen. You have undersecretary, and they have a salary grade of more than 26, 27 and above. It is the Sandigan Bayan that has exclusive original jurisdiction. And even if there are many defendants, if at least one of them has a salary grade of 37 or higher, it is the Sandigan Bayan that has exclusive original jurisdiction over the case. So I think based on the testimonies of the government officials, USEC Robert Bernardo, before the Senate, you can see that congressmen and senators are involved, and even Bernardo himself, being an undersecretary, has a salary grade of 29 or 30, at least 29. So the jurisdiction will be with the Sandigan Bayan, not with the regional trial courts. So I don't think it will help if you create special courts at the RTC level, because most of these cases will fall under the exclusive regional jurisdiction of the Sandigan Bayan. However, under the internal rules of the Sandigan Bayan, the Sandigan Bayan can recommend to the Supreme Court the creation of a special division. So this could be the solution. The Sandigan Bayan will recommend to the Supreme Court that a special division is created, will be created exclusively to handle these cases.
But why would the Supreme Court make that suggestion if it's very clear under the law? One would expect that, being the Supreme Court, you would have reviewed and you would know all the limitations, right? Before you would make that kind of announcement.
Well, I think they thought that the people involved here will be at the level of district engineers. And district engineers have a salary grade of less than 27. No? So I think they have to revisit that. Instead of creating special courts at the RTC level, they should create one or two at the Sandigan Bayan.
Okay. And if new divisions will be created in the Sandigan Bayan, no, a special division for infrastructure projects, ito po ba can cover all salary grades of all officials in government?
Only those where at least one defendant has a salary grade of 27.
One lang.
The law says if at least one of the defendant has a salary grade of 27, jurisdiction is with the Sandigan Bayan.
Pero halimbawa po, Justice, halimbawa for example, yung Ghost Project. Kunwari lang po ito, no? Yung Ghost Project, natuklasan, involved yung, kasi may location na nung project, na-involved yung district engineer, na-involve rin yung regional district engineer. Kunwari, silang dalawa, natuklasan pati yung congressman may lagay, pati yung mayor, let's say lahat ng mga personalidad na yon in government are involved. What one court can handle all of that?
Well, if you create a division, you can create two or more divisions in the Sandigan Bayan. Right now, the Sandigan Bayan has 7 divisions. You can create two more special divisions that would be taken from the different divisions, the membership of those two or more special divisions.
So, hindi pwedeng kasuhan, let's say, the example I gave you, let's say, kakasuhan yung mga individual na yon at di diretso ipaparaffle ito, or RTC, a special RTC will handle it? That would not be allowed under the law?
Hindi pwede because that if a city mayor is involved, the salary grade of a city mayor is at least 27 grade
Oo.
salary grade. So that will fall under the Sandigan Bayan. No? The regional director has a salary grade of at least 27, so he will fall under the Sandigan Bayan. So I think because very high officials, sorry,
Yeah, go
very
ahead,
high
sir.
officials are involved, the cases will fall under the jurisdiction of the Sandigan Bayan. So that's where we should form special divisions.
Okay. And in forming a special division with the setup and the funding of the Sandigan Bayan, for example, is an additional budget needed? Does the government have to hire more lawyers, more personnel, or sapat na po ba ang setup ng Sandigan Bayan?
Well, right now, because the 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 justices who will form the special division will be taken from the existing divisions. They have their own people already. They have their own legal researchers already. So there's no need for additional budget for them right away. Maybe at a future date they can be given a special budget, but they can be formed without a special budget in the meantime.
I see. Okay. Now, the ICI has announced individuals who they recommend that cases that they recommend to be charged, no, involving I believe 2 senators, kasama doon ilang congressman, kasama si former Congressman Zaldico, kasama din I believe a former Congresswoman Mitch Cahayon, some other individuals, DPWH personnel. Were you satisfied with the list?
Well, that is only an initial list, Karen. So I think that's the second list that they submitted. I think they will be including a lot more. So we just have to wait because it takes time to gather this evidence. Actually, the ICI is conducting only fact finding, and they will submit their fact finding results to the ombudsman, who will instead of doing again the fact-finding, can proceed already with the preliminary investigation.
Okay.
Samantala ho mga kababayan, mula naman po sa panig ni Senator Villanueva, nilinaw ng kanyang tagapagsalita na ang senador ay wala hong kinalaman sa anumang flood control anomaly. Ayon sa kanila, lahat ng proyekto na inendorso ni Villanueva ay may kumpletong dokumento at dumaan sa tamang proseso ng DPWH. Dagdag pa nila, handa raw silang makipagtulungan sa anumang investigasyon para mapatunayan ang kanilang panig. Kasabay ho ng isyong ito, napag-usapan din ang reversal kaso ni Villanueva na dating kaugnay ng paggamit ng pondo noong siya'y nasa TESDA pa lamang. Bagamat binigyan linaw ng korte ang naturang desisyon, may ilan pa ring nagsasabing dapat masuri muli ang mga basehan para masigurong patas at walang impluwensya ang naging proseso. Ang mga ganitong reversal, ayon sa ilang eksperto, ay bahagi ng judicial system, subalit dapat itong maging transparent at maayos ang paliwanag sa publiko. Sa huli, ang flood control issue ay hindi lang simpleng usapin ng proyekto, kundi pagsubok sa integridad ng mga institusyon. Kung totoo ang mga anomalya, dapat ho may managot, at kung napasama lang sa pangalan ng walang kasalanan, dapat din silang magpawalang dungis. Ang mahalaga, maglabas ng kumpletong impormasyon at hayaang wag manatiling haka-haka ang mga aligasyon.
Right. Now, the ombudsman is eyeing live streaming for their preliminary investigations, no, and posting their decisions. I want to ask you first, what do you think of live streaming preliminary investigations with the ombudsman's office?
Well, that was suggested by the ombudsman himself. So that would be a welcome move because we have not seen any public hearing with the ICI. They have not yet conducted hearings in public. So, preliminary investigation live, open to the public, at least open to the public, so reporters.
Okay, we've lost Justice Carpio. Okay, sir, are you back? We lost you. We lost your connection.
Yes. Yeah, what I was saying is, yes, I welcome live streaming of the preliminary investigation because there has been no live streaming or even a public hearing at the ICI level, so the public will be more informed if there will be preliminary investigation will be open to the public.
Okay. Maganda po to ang tanong ko sa inyo. Sinabi po niya, all court proceedings should be public except in cases where the rights of children may be violated. So we are looking at the bounds of transparency that we can adhere to in this office. Is it typical or advisable that court proceedings generally be live streamed? In the United States, they're not live streamed actually. So what happens is you have court artists, right, that they draw what is happening in the hearings, and then reporters can witness but you report outside. Ano po ba ang base sa karanasan nyo?
Well, that is correct. We do not allow live streaming during trial, but we allow the public and the media to attend the trial, and I think that's good enough. There's no need really for live streaming of a trial. We did not do any live streaming during the trial of former President Estrada, but the reporters were present. They could take notes and they could report properly, and the people were well informed of what was happening. You don't need to have live streaming to inform everybody, but in the case of the Senate and Congress, because it's not only that function is really in aid of legislation, so the people need to know what kind of what is the direction of the new law that they will propose. But that's in aid of legislation. But when it goes to the court, I think it's sufficient that it be open to the public and to the media.
All right. Anything else you would like to add, Justice Carpio?
Well, I'm waiting for the ICI to open their hearing. At least the public should be present and the media should be present. Although they're saying they'll do a live streaming, that would be good also. So we're all waiting for that, and I hope the Supreme Court will instead create divisions in the Sandigan Bayan, because most of these cases will fall under the exclusive regional jurisdiction of the Sandigan Bayan. That's all.
All right. On that note, I want to ask you also, before we go, I want to ask you this. The very controversial order, right? So in 2016, former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales ordered the dismissal of Joel Villanueva over the PDAF case, and the Senate did not oblige. In 2019, Martires reversed or granted in effect the motion for reconsideration of Villanueva 3 years after Morales' order. And Crispin Remulla, who is now ombudsman, was surprised that Martires granted the MR. One, is that valid, or is there anything questionable in this whole process and timeline?
Well, because the decision of former Ombudsman Chit Morales was for the dismissal of Joel. Remember, at that time he was just he was no longer in Congress. He was I think with TESDA, an executive office. So there was no prohibition on the ombudsman in deciding that case. Let us assume that Villanueva submitted on time his motion for recon within 10 days. If that decision is reversed subsequently, the prosecutor will have another chance to ask for a motion for reconsideration, because you have always a chance to ask for a motion for recon. Now, it appears that nobody knew about that reversal. So most likely the prosecutor, whoever was the prosecutor there, did not also know. So he could not have filed a motion for recon. You need the copy of the reversal to prepare your motion for recon, because you don't know what the arguments were used, what kind of arguments were used in the reversal. So if indeed the prosecutor did not receive the copy of the reversal, then he can still ask for the copy of the reversal now and submit his MR, because that is the right of the prosecution to submit an MR. So I think that can be explored, because that is a violation of due process of the prosecutor, because prosecutors also have due process. They are entitled to file their MR also, at least once.
So, ibig sabihin, is that right that Ombudsman Crispin Remulla can ask the prosecutor's office if they got a copy in 2019, if they were able to question?
Yes.
And halimbawa po, they did not
Yes.
get a copy.
We have to gather the facts here.
Yeah. Pero let's say the prosecution was not able to get a copy and question. Can Ombudsman Remulla still revive this?
Yes, because there is a violation of due process. He can still make that argument that the prosecutor should be given a copy and can file within 10 days his own MR. It can. That we're assuming that the prosecutor was not given a copy.
I see. All right. Now, looking back at the manner that it was done, do you believe it was done in secret?
Well, I cannot say that for sure. I can say for sure that it was not published.
Okay.
Normally, because the dismissal of Villanueva was publicly made. It was published in the press. If I were Villanueva, if that decision was reversed, I would also have it published to correct the misimpression
Against you, right?
It's a situation.
All right. Thank you for that. All right. Thank you. You gave us clarity, no?
Mga kababayan, ang sinabi ni Justice Carpio ay isang paalala na ang katotohanan, gaano man ho ito kasakit, ay kailangan nating harapin para matigil na ang paulit-ulit na korupsyon. Sa huli ho, ang tunay na tanong ay ito, hanggang kailan nating hahayaan malunod sa baha ng katiwalian ang mga proyektong dapat sana ay para sa taong bayan. Muli po, ako po si Opinion and Reaction PH. Lagi po kayong mag-iingat at God bless.